Name drop, forget about that. If someone has an underhook on you, if you start again.
I think fucking Martin Luther King was actually telling me this morning when we had breakfast together with the president.
I feel bad name dropping, but I feel like it's
Alright, you got to do it.
I'm giving credit.
Credibility.
All right. I made a video on Instagram about this move where we're keeping an underhook, getting an inside underhook and pinning someone down, but I just wanted to go on YouTube through this and how to kind of where to go from here, how it came about, and the rules that you can apply into other things. With an underhook, obviously, I don't want to give someone an underhook and be unprepared. If I give Ben an underhook and he just starts to run up onto my back, this is obviously not going to be a good position for me. But you already know that. But if I can keep Ben's hand kind of lower than his elbow, or at least to the point where it doesn't come up in line, here, Ben's arm has a lot of use. His underhook is strong. So if we're here, his hand is over his elbow, he's going to be able to use that really well. But if I can somehow pin this hand down towards his head, when he goes to use this arm as an underhook, it should be really difficult, even though he's really strong. Typically from Nicky Ryan, I was taught to do this move where I put my thumb in the armpit and then you kind of lean back and trap their wrist onto their hip. Now when they try and use this underhook, it's going to be really difficult and you can start to maybe use this hand for other things. But I was starting to learn knee cuts, well not learn knee cuts, I was trying to fix my knee cuts, and I found a lot of the time people would sit up into this position, and it's a good spot to go for things like tripoding and switching to half butterfly, but a lot of the time I have the ability to shoot this near side underhook, wrap my arm underneath, and then walk my hips through. If I can turn their hips away, it's going to be really hard for Ben to A, use this underhook, and B, pummel this arm back in. It's going to be hard for him to get out. The natural progression for this position, it's obviously going to be difficult for me to just throw my leg over into mount, and I don't want to just let go of everything and then let Ben get everything back in front. So there's a few ways I can up this position. They're all going to be a little awkward, I will say, but this is a good spot to hold someone for a few minutes and then you can kind of come back. First thing, even without necessarily like upgrading the position, you can start to pull this arm back out and start to dig for your own underhook. So I'm not going to say you have to do a set of moves, like you can always abandon this. Let's say I walk his hips all the way, you can start to just let go of this, start to get double unders. Like you're not stuck into trying to necessarily keep the underhook or overhook. But one way I've been doing it recently is I'll bring my knee on top of their hip. And now most people in this situation are going to start to frame on this knee. And he kind of has two options with his elbow. He's either going to flare his elbow out and it's going to be easier for him to push across, or he's going to have his elbow down and it's going to be easier for him to push up. If he's pushing across, so we're here, his elbow's out, this is going to give me a big gap so I can shoot this arm through, get to double underhooks, and now I can either go to mount or kind of end up in these positions. So we've started here. I bring my knee up. I'm kind of being obvious with it because I want him to frame on it. He's opened it up wide. I'm going to start to get my underhook. Obviously, for the sake of exampling, I'm lifting my chest up quite a bit so I can talk to you, but please don't lift it up all the way because if I do this, he's going to get this underhook back in. So I'm keeping this tight. I bring my knee up. He's going to start to frame on that. I take my underhook and then I can start to use these. The other way he's going to frame is his elbow is going to be down towards the ground. He's going to be pushing up. You kind of have two choices with this. One, you can grab it down, punch it down to the floor, and then bring your knee over. I think this is a good option. A, for either triangles. I'm probably not incredible at triangles. My legs aren't very long, so I'd be inclined to kind of stay in mount with one underhook and keeping this pinned. It's going to be a lot harder for Ben to do things like bridge and retain guard. But you can also, if the elbow's down, you can scoop it up or punch it through, then throw it straight over for triangles. So you kind of have two options for this. You can either punch it down, which is probably my preferred, slide your knee over, and start to use both arms to control this head. Or you can punch straight through the triangles, or pick it up, push it on their chest. There's obviously going to be times where people can do something with this underhook. Like, for instance, a lot of people especially if you're down here, they're gonna start to try and belly out really hard. And maybe let's say your hand isn't all the way deep through, so they have the option to start to sit up. They're gonna either look for a body lock or look to kind of get this low single down here, exactly. And I can just speak to two of the things that I like to do from this. Obviously, if I was a bigger guy, I probably wouldn't start jumping to things like back takes. You'd probably be more inclined to start to stuff. But for me, if someone starts to wrap a body lock, so they come up, I'm gonna throw this top leg over, and then maybe if you're longer limbed, you can start to go for things like arm bars, but I'll probably start to lean back over into mount. So if they're going for the body lock, like they start to come up, they're kind of leaving this gap open, which gives you the ability to throw this leg over straight into mount. Or maybe the better of the option, they start to come up on a low single. I personally keep my hips back, try and get my chest onto their back, wrap up the seatbelt, and or try and control this wrist, and then I'll just sit my hips through. Even if they still have a hook on this, I feel like I can spit that out and start to capture this arm. So maybe I don't do this as well. He really bucks and bridges me. He starts to come up for a single. I'm gonna try and lean back straight away. Obviously, if I stay forward, he's gonna climb to my back. So I'll try and lean back, wrap underneath here. You can threaten the choke, but I'm gonna start to slide myself off, kick this out, and end up in this crucifix. Hopefully, this kind of makes more sense of what to do once you're in this position, and kind of help progress it, and a couple of things that should help you keep it overall. On YouTube, I'm supposed to say something at the end, like subscribe and... No, yeah, I don't know. I want to make more videos like this on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, if you do watch this, thank you for watching, and let me know what other techniques you'd like me to talk about, because I do enjoy making things like this and talking about jiu-jitsu. So let me know, and I hope you enjoyed, or at least learned something, which is the end goal. So thank you.
Forgive me for not being a very good shot.
Yes.